Working on a 92 Kodiak, or this one's a Kodiak, but Topkick I guess would be the same. And I thought I had a bad fuel pump. Broke 2 studs. Didn't really see any solutions online for fixing those. So this is how I'm gonna do it. The original studs are 1/2 inch, or 5/16 rather. And I'm going to drill it out and do a 3/8. And the reason I picked 3/8 is because the sheet metal drills like shit. And I'm going to use a step drill. Tap drill size for 3/16 is 5/16, so I can use a step drill, which drills sheet metal much better. And then I punched out some cork gaskets to go on the back side there. Also, if you're wondering how to get into this fuel tank, the only video I saw on YouTube was another guy's, and obviously you got to take your strap bolts off here, but he said to pull off the pins. Now, if you're just trying to do this, don't want to take your tank off, all you got to do is pull these off. You could pull your step off, which is just a couple of torques, at least this one is. And not bend up these straps at all, but I'm not particularly concerned about these straps getting a little bit tweaked because, well, they're not in the best of shape anyways, so I'm not worried about the appearance of them. So I just pulled it out just enough so that you can pull your send-in unit out right next to the door here. First step I did was I put my ring on there and then just center punched them and did a little pilot hole there. And then now I'll use the step drill. I'm doing this by myself, can't really video as I go here, so I'll just show end results. Alright, now I got this to the tap drill size. And I guess I should have said this to start with, but the reason I'm tap drilling obviously is to tap it. That way it'll, I mean, the sheet metal is not going to be much thread, but it will retain itself to some amount. And then I'm guessing it would strip out before I got it fully tight on the back side. But obviously the nut's gonna, in theory here, clamp it tight enough to seal off. And if it don't, I'll cross that bridge when we get there. Got the first one done. Gotta do this part with one hand. And yes, I'm just kind of letting that trash fall in there, but pickup's a good inch or two above the bottom. I'm assuming there's way more trash than a couple little metal chips. And I just put a fresh strainer and filter on this, so I feel like it's not really worth fighting that part of it. Check before I get it just right here. Patterns, got a couple patterns there, these, so it already fits in there. I didn't even have to re-drill this locking collar. Yeah, that ought to work. I'll just tighten these up real quick and then put the sending unit with a new gasket in there. You could do this with a standard wrench, but ratchet wrench is probably a little bit easier. Obviously you don't want to overdo it or you're going to strip some threads out, because there's only about one thread back there. Kind of being a pain in the butt not to turn it to loosen. Now those are tight. Alright, it's all in, tightened down. That's what it looks like now. Those holes make a little sense now. So you gotta have this ring just right for the orientation of the sending unit there. And anyone wondering how to get these lines off, it's just you squeeze these with your finger and push the hose off. Sometimes you gotta push back. There's no tool on these like a lot of the fuel lines. Pretty straightforward. And yeah. Also, if you're fighting these, they're not round like the typical ones. They're an oval shape, so you have to get that clip oriented the correct clocking or whatever, where it won't go on, because it's not round, it's oval. That can be a little fiddly. There's that one. Yes. Not bad, but it would be nice to have a little more room in here. These are short enough, you gotta do them underneath like this. Got her all buttoned up there. Another little tidbit. This all started from a clutch job. And it ran for about 30 minutes perfectly afterwards. And then I lost fuel. I shut it down, came back, started up, and went and started up. Well, fought it for a day trying to chase things down, thinking, oh, it's a fuel pump, this is this, that's the other, you know. It's this damn ground wire right here will shut off your injectors, and I guess your fuel pump too. Yeah, it would run with some starting fluid or gas in the throttle body. You know, it's a TBI injection deal. And that had sit on this flywheel housing just the right way to ground out just enough that it ran, and then it shut off and it lost the ground. And a whole lot of dirty words were said trying to figure that out. So if you're not running after a clutch job, check that.